Alright guys, so today's video, we're going to be checking out a pair of true wireless earbuds that's a second gen of a product that blew me away when true wireless earbuds first came out. Because when they first came out, there was a lot of very bad products from companies we had never heard of. In fact, there was a lot of bad products from companies we had heard of. But occasionally there would be a product from a company that I'd never heard of that had incredible build quality and features that just blew away a lot of the big name products, and it would have sound that stood out. And one of the first companies to do this was MiFo, and the MiFo 05s were one of the first pair of true wireless earbuds that I saw that there was so much that you can get for your money. Like, the battery life was insane, the sound quality was incredible, the build quality was just different than most of the plastic earbuds that were out there. And so MiFo now has released a Gen 2 or second gen of the MiFo 05s. These come in retailing at $110. They actually sent a code for you guys to use so you can pick them up for under $100, and that was about the price point of the original MiFo 05. So what we're gonna do is check out all of the upgrades that they've made, because I feel like they've pretty much upgraded everything about the original MiFo 05s. We're gonna check out the sound on these and see if now in today's market, these are worth the $100 price tag. So to start with, really the only thing that doesn't feel upgraded is the packaging. The packaging is much simpler now. A lot of people don't care about this, but when you open so many boxes of different products, it's just nice to have something that stands out a little bit. And then as far as the actual upgrades that they've made, these are now using Bluetooth 5.2, and they've now upgraded to the Qualcomm 3040 chip. And to me, this is interesting because the original MiFo 05s already stood out when it came to battery life, and the Qualcomm 3040 chip is one of those that gives you better performance and doesn't tax as much on the battery itself. So battery life is improved on these, which we will talk about. They've also upgraded to where these now have aptX, AAC, and SBC playback. This is one of those pairs that you could just easily use for all different types of media. You don't really have to worry about lag. Now, if you are looking for a pair to use outdoors, another upgrade on this pair is they are now IP67, which basically means they're almost completely dust proof, but they are also waterproof as well. So you can easily use these at the gym. You can use them by the pool. You don't have to worry if they get splashed or rained on, or if you're somebody that sweats heavily. And if you just happen to drop them in the water, it's also nice to know that they're going to be okay from that as well. Now, as far as what all they've included inside the box, you do get 4 sets of silicone ear tips. It does come with a USB-C cable, which luckily they upgraded that, because the original came with the micro USB, and you guys already know I am not a huge fan of micro USB cables. And another plus is it also comes with this little adapter. You can plug it into the case, and it also allows you to charge external devices. So if you have your phone with you, or a tablet, or anything that's starting to lose battery life, the 2600 milliamp battery that's in the charging case, which is a large battery, just allows you to charge those other devices just by simply plugging them into this case. Now, speaking of the battery life itself, because that's always been one of the standout features with the originals, they still found a way to upgrade the battery performance on these earbuds, because on the earbuds themselves, you're going to get around 9 to 9.5 hours of use, where with the charging case, you're going to get around 150 hours total. And like I said, that 2600 milliamp battery that's inside the charging case, it's allowing you some really impressive battery life on the earbuds, but just being able to plug in other devices, it just makes this case come in handy in a lot of different situations. And speaking of the case is still built like a tank. You pick this thing up, you could easily feel that this is something you could take somebody out with. It feels like a heavy pebble or stone. It's very nice build quality. I'm still not the biggest fan of the lid on these. I feel like it just feels a little flimsy while it's open. Now, it's not one of those lids that's going to flop open easily. You do actually have to pry your fingernail underneath it to lift it up. But once it's open, it just kind of flops around a little too easy for me. But I still like the the unique design that these have. Now, on the side, you can see it has the USB-C input for charging. There is no Qi wireless charging on this case, which is another upgrade that I wish they would have made on these. And there's also no fast charge feature. So if you're going to compare it to a lot of the other ones in the market, especially in this price range, I feel like it's lacking that Qi wireless charging and that fast charge. But I do feel like getting a battery that's this large and this versatile as far as being able to charge other devices around you definitely kind of makes up for it not having some of those other features. Now, moving over to looking at the actual earbuds themselves, they still kept a similar design, but they made a huge upgrade when it comes to the controls, because the original controls were these two tiny buttons on the earbuds. They were always very hard to press. They also just kind of felt like you were pressing the earbuds into your ear. And I'm happy to say that they've upgraded to touch controls. And I'm also happy to say that they give you control over everything. So on the earbuds themselves, you have the ability to play, pause, skip your tracks forward, go backwards. You have volume control. All of it's just on the earbuds themselves, and it's nice to know that it's all right there. And for you guys that do like to use your earbuds independently, if you are going to use one earbud at a time, it's nice to know that these allow you to do that, but that they also switch over into mono mode. So you are getting all of your audio playing out of that one earbud, and that just leaves you feeling like you're not missing out on what the other earbud would be playing. And another upgrade that they've made with these, because they're using that Qualcomm 3040 chip, is these now also have the CVC 8.0 technology on the microphones. So when you're taking phone calls, the mics are focusing in on your voice, and they're doing a pretty decent job of blocking out a lot of your surroundings. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here.
All right, guys, so here is a mic test using the second gen MiFo 05s. I think overall it does a very good job of picking up my voice. I do feel like it sounds slightly warmer than it does on other earbuds, but this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call. And so now here is a mic test with a crowd noise being played, which you can hear here. And so this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public.
So now let's talk about the sound, because the sound on these, this is a Basshead's dream pair of earbuds. This is a boomy pair of earbuds. It does have a slightly warmer tone to it, so it kind of leans a little bit more towards the mids and the bass. Now, I'm not saying that the treble does not have some sparkle or shine to it, but when you're comparing it to the bass that these have, there are times where you wish that you could boost the treble just a little bit. And this is not one of those pairs that works with an app. You can download a third-party app if you want to EQ it that way, but the way that they sound out of the box has a lot of presence in the low end. It's not sloppy by any means, so you could easily just switch between a bunch of different genres, and the bass sounds excellent with pop and hip hop and even metal, where there's a lot going on. So it's not a bass that just destroys everything else. And I do like what they did with the mids, because it also has that slightly warmer tone to it, which in my opinion makes it feel a little bit more natural. It doesn't seem as processed as it does on other earbuds. It's not mids where it feels like things are pushed too forward, but they left it in a spot where it doesn't get lost in the rest of the mix either. Really, the only area I would change at all would be the treble. Now, I still feel like the treble has excellent details. Again, it's just like the mids, it doesn't feel like it gets lost in the mix. But when you're up against bass that's this boomy and this powerful, same thing with the mids having the warm tone that they do, you just kind of wish at times that the treble was bumped up so that it just contrasted better with certain genres. I still think this is an excellent pair for all genres, but if you're listening to stuff that's pretty chaotic, the treble seems to kind of dip just slightly. Now, one area that really stands out on these, and this is surprising because the treble isn't as sparkly bright as it is on other pairs, is the soundstage and the sound imaging are excellent on the second gen MiFo 05s. It's a very spacious sound. Because of the natural feel that these have. For some reason, I had no issues being able to pick up where different sounds were coming from. So I was very pleased with the audio quality. This is just delivering bass that a lot of other earbuds don't. I do like the warmer sound that these have. Again, I just feel like it made things sound a little bit more natural and not as processed. But I do still have some cons with these. I still feel that MiFo is one of those unknown companies that a lot of people are not going to want to spend $100 on. I think immediately you're going to go in and try to compare it to other pairs that may have active noise canceling, they may have Qi wireless charging, they may have fast charging, and this pair doesn't have those features, but it does stand out because the battery life that it has, the build quality, in my opinion, I think is fantastic. In fact, I think the look of these just stand out because they don't look like every other pair of earbuds on the market. And there's really just not a lot of competition to give you some of the features that these have, plus getting the sound that you're getting for $100, or actually slightly under $100. So yes, this is an easy pair to recommend. The only ones I would not recommend it to are people that don't enjoy bass, because there is plenty of bass when it comes to this pair. But guys, that's my video on the brand new 2nd gen MiFo O5s. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.